Hey guys, so today we are talking about the cable reverse fly. Starting from the bottom, I think this is a fantastic exercise to make these rear delts come alive. Not that the dumbbell's any worse of an exercise, but I actually rate this a little higher because of the fact that the way the load obviously is loaded, that it works in a horizontal plane always. You keep that tension on the entire time, and as we know, tension over a prolonged period of time accumulated will end up with greater stress placed on that particular muscle, and as a result of that we should grow a great deal more than potentially than we would have without that stress. So what we need to realize with this exercise is that obviously we're going to look at it as a free weighted exercise. We need to be able to create stability through our body in order to execute and grab a hold of these minor muscles. Because they are also minor muscles, our major muscles want to come in and do the work. That's what we are designed to do. So our lats and our traps really want to take over this exercise, but because it is a reverse fly using the cables, we want to target our rear delts primarily, or our rhomboids, and potentially a little bit of our traps as we move into scapular retraction. Okay. Now, because we are pulling from the bottom, we want to mimic this position here, okay? But obviously coming and pulling from the bottom. So we want to make sure that when we do this, that we are right up and over the top of our lower body. That being said, we want to make sure that we create stability through the lower body in order to prevent things like momentum through rocking and then potentially jolting up and down through the toes. So let's firstly look at what we're going to do with our lower body, then we'll move into what we're going to do with our upper body. So our lower body, first things first, we want to find the middle point of the rack or the cable, crossover rack, whatever, not rack, I don't know what this is, cable crossover machine, yeah. Anyway, we're going to screw our feet in, push our knees out and fall into position like so. By pushing our knees out, what this does is allows our room for our lower body, or our upper body, sorry, to go into, and also by pushing the knees out, we're going to use our glutes to stabilize our hips, okay? That there is what we want to do in order to make sure that we are stable and not transferring that load to the lower back. Too often do you see people in this position here will have this nice rounded back and exposing themselves to some form of injury, purely, potentially, because they have their knees too close, okay? So what we want to do is we want to screw these feet in, knees go out, and allow our big fat tummies to roll into that midsection, allow some room and sit in that section, okay? So we're here. Now, what do we do, or where are we targeting? Obviously, we're targeting this upper portion of our back here, so we need to create stability through these lower lats in order to take them firstly out of the game, because they want in, okay? They want to take over all that load, but secondly, also, if we create stability, we're going to get more tension on those working muscles. Now, little tip with the little muscles. In order to activate those little muscles, we want to make them to come alive first, okay? And in order to do that, we actually want to probably start a little lighter and push a little bit more volume through them and get them into the game a great deal more before we start loading up the weight, okay? Because like I said, if we dive straight into going really heavy, there's a fair chance these major muscles are going to want to take over straight away because we haven't got that connection from our mind to our muscles. So we want to avoid this occurring by simply putting a little bit more time, a little bit more effort into these little movement patterns, create that connection, put some blood there, and then we can go in and start loading up and hitting them just as like we want to. Right. So, how are we going to? Obviously, by creating stability, we're going to pull their shoulder blades back and down, okay? Create stability through our lats, and then we're going to pull it apart. So let's go through the exact motion that we're aiming for. Okay, so we're actually going to cross them over, pull shoulder blades back and down, and we don't want to end up like this. We're just going to come to this portion here, going like this, that's all good and well. I have this thing that I want everything to be absolutely even and balanced, and I feel that if I constantly are crossing over like this, then one side's going to get bigger than the other. This is just genuine bro science. I don't know if that's true or not. Some would then argue, well, why don't you just switch your hands then next time, purely because it feels uncomfortable. So all I do is come to this position here, okay, to the midline, and then I'm pulling straight back out again. Yeah, so that's just me. You can cross over if you want to, go vice versa, that's fine. All right, so again, we're actually going to set up our upper body from the top though. Shoulder blades are going to be pulling back and down, hands in the position that you want them to be in. Screw our feet in, knees go out, bend over right over the top so it's a nice straight line, and we're going to pull right out, squeeze, hold, pause, down, control your negative, and up, squeeze, hold, pause, down, control your negative. And this here, team, is exactly how we want to go about doing our cable reverse fly. Couple little tips to avoid. Again, as you're coming up, try not to sway and use momentum. Okay, if anything, what we are looking to do with our retraction is drive our chest down. So we're looking to pull our scapula together. That's another way to think about it. So our chest is going to meet our hands, and we're going to come through and really promote that retraction process there. If you start to feel this load through your lower back just here, okay, there is a fair chance we might be swinging. So if I'm coming up like this, you can see that I'm really loading this lower portion of my back. So take that time to take a step back, relax, and just pull apart with the hands. You might need to lower the weight because your lats and those other major muscles are trying to get in the game, and they have got in the game. Okay, so again, shoulder blades back and down, knees out, allow yourself to fall in, out, hold this position. Okay, if you find yourself swinging, just stop, reset, shoulder blades back and down, and go again. Team, that there is how you want to do your cable reverse fly.